Oh, hey, my name's Ashton Shanks. I'm 26 years old. I own Hemon Media and HemonX. And in this episode, we're talking all about how I'm the most savage motherfucker in media buying. Let's get started.
Well, guys, it all started when I was 2 years old. I'm just kidding. My dad handed me a bottle of whiskey and said, "You know, son, that's the secret to life right there." And I never saw him again. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I got started into media buying at a company that's actually probably about a mile from here. And we started growing really fast into e-commerce. When it started, it was literally in our garage that was out in Nixa, which is by where I went to school. I would walk over to her house after school. I would help her package up orders. Basically, about 6 months went by. We started moving into a warehouse. We started growing really fast. And at that point, the owner came to me and was like, "Hey, we should start a marketing department. Ashton, you've been here the longest. Do you want to be our marketing director?" At the time, I was like 16 years old, and I didn't know what marketing was, but it sounded really cool. I was like, "Oh, director's in my title. That'll be really awesome." And so I remember going literally after work that day. I went to Barnes & Noble, back when people still went to bookstores, and I picked up Marketing for Dummies and Jab, Jab, Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. First time I ever heard of him or knew marketing world or dove into it at all. And I learned a lot. I worked at that company for about 3.5 years. When I left, we were doing about 3.2 million a month in revenue, and we were one of the second largest exporters outside of Springfield, next to Bass Pro, which actually the headquarters of Bass Pro is here in Springfield. And so anyway, I learned a lot at that company. I got to experiment with anything I wanted. This was back, probably around 2013 when PPC was really starting to kind of gain some traction. It was early days, and I learned a lot about marketing and advertising and sales essentially inside of it. That was kind of my first touch into marketing and sales. And then another company had heard about me and heard about the growth that we had at the original company. They asked me to become their director of marketing. And I figured, since I had been at the first company 3.5 years, I was like, all right, now it's time to see if I could spread my wings and actually fly, if I'm actually good at this or if it was just kind of luck, right? And so I went to that other company. I was there only about 6 months. I was twiddling my thumbs. The companies operated completely different. The first company was very fast, very aggressive. Any idea I had, let's try it today, let's try it tomorrow. The second company was very calculated, very slow. The owner was actually very smart, very intelligent, but he was very risk adverse, very calculated. And so I would come up with an idea and it would become, all right, let's put a 6-month plan together of how we're gonna execute that plan. And so that was kind of the two different worlds of marketing that I learned in the beginning. One was very fast, very big. The other one was very calculated, very slow. And I got really kind of just bored. And it was around this time that me and my wife wanted to move to New Orleans, and we helped plant a church down there. Speed up about 2.5 years, I was in Seattle, and I was working at Verizon, and I started to see what other people were doing with marketing. This was very around the time that Ty Lopez had started his Here in My Garage ad. People were really starting to understand that they could make money online. And for me, I started seeing some of these people talk about making 20K a month. And for me at that time, I didn't know that was an actual thing. I didn't know that people actually made $20,000 a month. I don't know why. I'd never thought about it. But at the time, it didn't seem like something that was even fathomable. And so anyway, I jump in, I see this opportunity, and I see one of my friends do really well. He joins this company called Traffic and Funnels, becomes their client, and starts making good money. Made 20K within 3 months of being with them. And again, this whole world was like, man, he's actually doing this. I knew him in high school. He was kind of a goofball in high school, and in my head, I was like, I already have marketing experience. If he can do it, I can do it. And that's when I kind of jumped in even more into the modern social media advertising, media buying on Facebook and YouTube, and really started exploring it. During that time, I found a job as a marketing manager for an agency in Seattle. Because I had the experience in the past with the company here, they accepted it. I started working for them, and then I got to work with Google and Dell. I started to run their advertising campaigns in Seattle, and at the same time, I was helping plant a church in Seattle with my wife. Eventually, this same company that I talked about, that I'd seen my friend do so well at, started opening up internships. And I didn't have the money to join their program, and so I was like, all right, let me become an intern, let me do all the stuff they don't want to do just so I can work around them. And they accepted me as an intern. I worked my way up and eventually became their director of advertising. we were managing around $500,000, $600,000 a month in advertising, and I started to train and develop other team members. Long story short, fast forward 2.5 years, I start Hemon Media, which is the company I own now, and HemonX, and right now we manage around $6 million a month in advertising spend for our partners, and that's how we got to where we are today, drinking smoothies. All right, so you've had a chance to see a little bit about my story. You'll learn more about my story in future episodes, but right now we got to go back to the house. We got to get some more work done. So let's go. Apparently there is a mouse in the garage, so daddy duty calls. Let's go get this thing. Rat. I don't see anything. Yeah. I don't even hear anything. I'm wondering if there might be a hole somewhere. We tried. Forgive, we're setting up for Christmas, so shout out. Shout out to crying Kata. All right, guys. I think, whoa, all right, no, I gotta get back to work. I've got calls to do, I've got work to get done, so do you. So, I'm gonna go back to work. I'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you wanna see more. I'll see you in the future. Cheers.